Hey guys, Chat Trades here. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my momentum strategy from the trade I took this morning, taking the market long once we break a key level and we get lots of momentum in the market, which can be a very powerful combo if you get the two together the right way, momentum and that key level. So with that being said, let's go and break down the full strategy and the exact trade I took from this morning. All right, as you can see, guys, I ended up making around $3,000 in total P&L. Trading this momentum strategy, I'm going to be breaking down in this video. So I did take this trade live this morning since it was within, 15 minutes of the market opening or so. So with that being said, I'm going to go and roll the replay of the trade I took this morning live. And then from there, I'm going to be breaking down the strategy.
All right, good morning, guys. What's going on today? So the key thing we want to pay attention to when we do open is how this changes on this box to this box, seeing if, do a bunch of sellers step in, like are we seeing a lot more negative bars on this one? Or does this stay the same where it's, pretty much 90% buyers, 10% sellers? How does that change when market opens up here? As far as the actual levels, which we find from delta hedging. All right, so a little bit of sellers stepping in. This is less of an imbalance compared to this. So definitely more sellers. Obviously, we are pulling back a little bit. So we could be getting to setup number 5 right now. Pulling back to either 600 or 98 or both. But it looks like we're gonna hold because of SPY. Probably take a retest of 603 now. It's looking a little better. Okay, I'm watching closely here on the 603. If we close above 20, I'm in. All right, I'm grabbing longs here. Stop will be under this 1 minute candle. I don't know what it is on NQ though. So I'm just gonna watch this chart. 605 would be the target. So I'll probably go for 604.50 or so. Okay, I just trimmed a little on that big move up to 604. Rest I'm holding for 50 or 605. Probably throw stops at break even as well. You don't have to, but it's yeah, if we break this structure, I'll probably get out. So it's going to be a little bit under break even actually. So it looks good to 605 though. The only issue I see, guys, is SPY. This thing kind of drops off after 68, which might hold back in QQQ to 605. So that's one of the main reasons I trimmed up here. Considering trimming another one, but just trying to give it a little bit more time. Yeah, see if we, okay, I'm gonna trim one more now. All right, now I can chill and let it run to target. I'm out of 2/3 of my position. Oh my god, this thing's doing crazy shit. So 604.50 or 605, whichever one you guys want to go for. I might hold the 605 or just under, maybe 80, since I already trimmed two. But it might take longer, so gotta sit through pullbacks. Okay, we're at 35. Struggling to get over that. There's 40. 50. Okay, this is where SPY drops off. So ultimately there is a target above on SPY still, but it does have a decent drop off, so we could see a pullback here for sure. Oh, it's already happening. Oh wow, we're already pushing back up. Let's see if we pass these highs. 52. There we go. Oh, I was waiting for a little bit more. All right, I'm out. Beautiful trade, guys.
All right, so as you guys saw, I do trade NASDAQ futures, but I'm looking at the QQQ chart and the QQQ levels as my key levels telling me when to enter the trades, right? So as you can see, I end up entering this thing at around 7:52, 9:52 Eastern time. So basically what I want to see is what does the market structure look like, okay? First things first, if we look at the institutional market structure, I posted this inside my trading plan in the Discord this morning, and it looked like this, right? Here's what today's institutional flow structure looks like. Bullish bias. If we hold above 599, we're going to have a 607 to 610 target. If we break below 599, this on QQQ, we're going to have a 595 target, right? So this is kind of my plan today. As long as we hold above 599, I'm going to be looking for trade opportunities to take it up, to 607. I don't have to take it all the way to 607, but I want to find a trade within this range, right? Pretty big range today. Market's super volatile this week, which gives us traders lots of trade opportunities, right? So if I go into my MaretkFlow software, this will essentially tell you where the institutions are positioned, okay? So to make that even more simple, it's going to tell you where the big money in the market, the hedge funds, banks, institutions, like I said, are going to be buying or selling, right? If they control majority of market volume, nearly 70%, I want to buy where they're buying. I want to sell where they're selling, right? It's as simple as that. So I'm essentially just trying to copy their trades because they control the market, right? Or majority of the market volume. So anyways, if we go into where I actually took the trade today, I'm going to be breaking down why I took it. Okay, so if we go into 752, we're going to look at see what the flows look like. Okay, so I'm going to go to today and we're going to go to, hold on, go to replay mode, select date, October 15th. Okay, and then I'm going to go into 752 where we actually took the trade, which was around right here where we're starting to look for the trade. Okay, so if we look at the delta hedging, which is kind of where I see all my setups, and then institutional flow, time pressure, these are just confirmations to make sure, this makes sense. But if we look at this, right, what do we see? We see a nice positive bar, okay, which means people are buying here. Okay, this represents buyers and sellers, positive and negative. Okay, so we're holding the positive bar. We pulled back right before that. We pulled back to 602. Okay, so this is our last positive bar before we went negative. So we got into 603, and what we saw was momentum up to 605. Now, the reason why, this is a momentum strategy is because we had increasing bars straight to 605. So we had increasing amount of buyers to 605, right? Which means they have to continue to buy and hedge their positions from all the contracts they're selling to people. They have to hedge with more buyers, right? And this is what creates momentum, right? These are liquidity providers. So whenever they sell a contract to someone who buys at 603, they're going to be selling, right? So to offset that risk and for them to stay delta neutral, they have to go and hedge their position by buying, right? So this is why, the market will move so fast all of a sudden, because it creates that snowball effect momentum. And when we see in the bar slowly increasing and then we have a peak at, let's say, 605, right? And then it drops off, right? Obviously the momentum dies after 605, and this can change. It can keep going to 607 where we have a bigger drop off, right? But for a specific trade, like a day trade or a scalp, right? 603 to 605 look like a solid momentum opportunity. Okay, so this is kind of what we saw. So essentially, as you saw in the live trade, I waited for us to break 603, and then we came down, we retested the level, right, perfectly, and then we closed with a nice reversal candle. And this is where I entered my trade. I put my stop right below this low, and the target, like I said, was this 605 level. Okay, because after that, momentum starts to drop. As you can see, I end up trimming a little bit here on this big push up at 604. And then I also got out of my position just before 605, only because sometimes we'll get like 20 cents away from 605 and then reverse. But that was a trade. As simple as that. We're looking where the big money is buying and simply copying their trades, right? And the way we do that is we want to see momentum, okay? The way we see momentum is we're seeing this bar increase to a peak, and then it drops off. That's a clean momentum setup. I also call this flow number one, setup number one, if you guys are a MaretkFlow member. Now, another confirmation I saw from this trade, which was a beautiful confirmation, I had full confidence this trade would play out, is I can also go to the SPY chart. So I'm going to go to SPY here on Delta hedging as well. And we can see at this exact time at 9:48 Eastern time, so just before we started breaking this level, pretty much, right here, what do we notice SPY was doing? Okay, if we look at SPY, we can also see that it also was in positive territory. So there's buyers here. But what do we see below it, right? Below it, there's no interest. There's no sellers. So this means there's a very high chance that this level holds, because if we do drop here, right, sure, the market could bring it down, but the liquidity providers, the people who control a lot of market volume, they don't have to hedge really, because there's barely any interest down here, right? So I knew that since this is telling us there's pretty much no interest below, that gives me even more confirmation that we are going to get that rotation up to our target, this green bar at 605, the tallest positive bar. So that was my trade for the day. Basically looking for momentum is looking at the bar slowly increasing to a peak and taking that level as soon as we break out of that first bar, which is 603. And then you can manage your position however you want. If you want to hold it fully to the target and not trim at all, this would have been a 3.6 RR. If you want to trim along the way, you can do that too. Doesn't really matter. Either way, that's how I ended up making the $3,000 in total P&L for the day. And by the way, guys, if you guys want to see these flows play out live every single day, like I said, I just launched this MaretkFlow software. So you'll actually get access to this institutional data. I partnered with a market data provider that gives us this data that we as day traders can use to make trading decisions throughout the day, seeing where institutions are positioned and essentially copying their trades. So anyways, guys, if you want to join MaretkFlow, since I just launched it last week, like I said, I'm doing a launch special. So first thing you're going to get, obviously, is full access to the MaretkFlow platform. You're going to be able to see all these flows play out in real time. We also have a back testing feature, so you can go back 2 weeks in advance. You can see all the flows. Now, on top of that, since I know this is new to a lot of people, reading this data, it's a little bit different from traditional candlesticks. We're going to be giving a 30-day mentorship bonus, so you're going to be able to trade live with me every single day. Like you saw from that trade this morning, you can join those live daily calls. We also are doing daily mentorship calls. So every day at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we're all going to be hopping on a call together on Zoom, showing the trades we took, going over the day, answering questions, working with you one-on-one. Also, you get a private community and all kinds of training on how all this stuff works and what it means. Looks super complicated, but it's pretty simple the way we break it down. Then lastly, you can also get access to my OTS entry indicator if you're wondering when to actually enter the trade. So we start this 30-day mentorship on October 20th, so there's still time to get in if you're watching this video before then. If you guys want to join us, Like I said, all you have to do is go over to that first link in the description below this video, or just head over to otsflow.co. Anyways, guys, have a good rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow morning inside our Discord group and maybe inside the daily live trading sessions in our MaretkFlow platform. So anyways, guys, I'll see you then. Have a good rest of your day.